Hey friends, welcome to a very foggy, damp morning here at Creekside Nursery. Today we have a lot of fun updates to give you because there is a ton of things happening here at the nursery. So we're just going to bebop around the nursery and give you an update on lots of projects that are happening right now, because at this very moment we have at least, what, 4 different projects going on?
I don't even know the number. I don't.
Can you tell he's a little overwhelmed?
It's all going good.
It is going good. So I have Jerry here this morning because the first project that we're going to cover, he knows the most about. I know the basics, but he knows all the great details. So I want him here so that he can give you all the specifics on what is happening. We are standing here obviously in front of the greenhouse down at the retail portion, but if you as I slowly turn the camera, you will see that the shrub lot is completely empty. I mean, it is gone except for the 2 spiral trees in the pots, which they will be moved because they can't stay there. And there is, if you can see, a massive pile of gravel and some yellow spray paint all over the ground. All right, Jer. What's going on, brother?
So if you just look at the solid lines that are here, that's going to be all new sprinkler system.
Gotcha.
So we wanted to go ahead, and if you can see the white lines, that's the old.
Yes.
So we want to get everything off of the gravel and underground. So that's the idea of that. And we're also working on better coverage because we had some issues with the coverage. Like some of you may have lawns, you know, and you have lawn sprinkler systems, and if they don't set them up correctly, sometimes you get, you know, a bad coverage. So we had bad coverage back over here. So now we're going to be spraying water even here in this far corner. I mean, it's going to spray out 20 feet this way.
Because there will be a sprinkler head right here on the corner?
Sprinkler head right here.
And then it'll spray 20 feet out in all directions.
In all directions.
Perfect.
So, but which I think is good. I mean, I know we're going to throw a lot of water back over here on the road, but sometimes we do have plants out here that come in on deliveries.
We do.
And sometimes we set stuff up out of here. So at least these 2 sprinklers here will give coverage out this way.
Yes.
And then we move the far one down there in so it doesn't hit the barn.
Oh, nice. So the very far corner will be way
it's
back
like
there.
That 1, 2, the 3rd line down,
Okay.
And that it's got a sprinkler down this way.
Gotcha.
It's just going to come up to the edge of the barn.
Okay. Perfect.
So then the other section in here.
Well, okay, so in order to make this happen, what are you going to do? What's the work involved in getting this done? You have to do what?
We're going to trench.
You got to trench. So it is rain. It's basically been rainy all week, and we're supposed to get some really big rain this afternoon at like lunchtime. And yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be a muddy mess for sure. So not only are we going to put in new irrigation in here, but with new irrigation, more water, we also need more
drainage.
That way we're not swimming out here. So walk me through that whole idea.
So we have some drainage out here. It just wasn't quite enough. So since we're redoing the whole thing, we're just going to go overkill and do 3 different lines of French drain pipe, or the perforated pipe that has a sock on it. I guess we could walk over and look at that pipe.
So, right, what we're doing is those drains are basically going to go in the middle of each of the irrigation lines.
Sort of, we kind of have placed them in areas where we know there's a low spot or a lot of water collects.
So where the little squares are.
Squares are is where we're going to place them in, and they're going to be placed below the grade of gravel.
Gotcha. So there's 1. Then 2, and then
quite a few of them.
I mean, I'm just saying the lines though. There's 1, 2, 3 lines, and then they will be out they go to drain.
Out they go, and then we're gonna send the water out that way, and then that should be it. I mean, we're wanting to where you see the pergola over this way. So then the 2 pots, that's the only thing that's left. We said that this is going to be entryway.
Gotcha.
And then this is sort of the whole point of this thing is to dress this up and make it look nice and spot on, is that we're going to make a entryway that walks all the way into the garden back there.
Gotcha. Yep.
Because we have big plans for the garden.
We do. So we're going to completely redesign the entrance to the gardens, and then the gardens themselves are going to get redesigned at a later date.
Yes.
To be determined.
So this had to be done first.
Right.
So this is the first part of the project.
Yeah.
So catch basins going in, and then we'll have a corrugated where it has these little slits going all the way around the pipe, and it has a sock on the pipe. You've seen us put it in before. We'll connect that. That will help collect water to send it out of here, so that way when we're irrigating in the summer, we have so much, we don't have piles of water, or then after big rainstorms. And because a lot of times, it's the day that we're open and customers show up and we had a big rain,
Right.
It just kind of gets the water out of here.
Yeah. So. I mean, we've had plenty of times where we've had just massive downpours, and it's just, behind you, it's just it's flooding out of here.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. All right. So I want to go into the greenhouse right quick because Randy is in there. Meredith and Emily started yesterday afternoon, staining the tables that are in the greenhouse, and Randy is continuing that this afternoon. So I want to go in there and just show you an overview of the difference of what the tables look like, stained versus not stained, because we've talked about that we, in our projects, that we want to stain all of our retail tables. It just cleans them up, makes them look good, and gives a cohesive look to all of our products here. So we're going to flip the camera around and we're going to walk up there. While we're going, you can see what the Easyscape looks like during the winter. The hibiscus have finally, their leaves have finally been fried and are going dormant. You can still see that the dianthus, sweet little things, are nice and evergreen. The serendipity is going a pretty yellow, and then the Cheyenne sky grasses are bronze. Yes, of course, like I said, we've had lots of good rain, so they're pretty wet right now, but doing well. And then here we go up into the greenhouse. Remember, we've emptied out all the perennials. Those tables will get stained as well. We'll probably spray those tables, or are we going to hand paint them, stain them?
We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
Well, they don't have to be really kind of sanded down.
Yeah, we got to clean them first. All right, so here are the tables that the girls did yesterday. This is that same black alder stain that we did the fence and the berm with. You can see that they got almost all of it done, but that's the thing about these tables, is there's all sorts of little nooks and crannies. So you can see they forgot to do, or didn't have time to do, this section, but they got that section done. So every part of the table has to be stained, and it's just, it's not hard by any means, but it is time consuming and getting that done. And as Randy is showing, you have to be willing to go on the floor, stand up, stand on top of your head, and do all those fun things to get the stain. But look at that. See, now this, my friends, look at that fine job that she is doing. All the little pieces have been done, and it looks so nice. So we used the Proven Winners bench tape, which is that white, it's not really even tape, it's just what they call it, but it's a little strip that goes on these tables. And so it will look really, really nice up against the black alder stain. Will be gorgeous. But there is a lot to be done, a lot of staining to be done for sure. So all the wood that's in here will be stained. We do have some plans as far as a little bit of a redesign come springtime for the greenhouse, as far as how the plants are laid out. Of course, we built this greenhouse just really a year ago, so this was our first growing season in there, and we knew that this entire back wall was kind of wasted space, so we're going to be installing a whole set of like multi-tiered level shelving that will take up the vast majority of this wall back here. The fountain's not going anywhere, so we're going to work around the fountain. You can see they have the mangaves, of course, in here overwintering. But just know that this whole back wall is going to be utilized differently come this coming spring. But yeah, so all the tables get to be stained, and it will make a huge difference. Right, sir? Right. And then also we're going to go ahead and move the birdhouses for sale into the barn for next season. And then kind of that same thing here where the birdhouses are, we'll have a plant display so people can shop plants there as well. So we'll have lots of plants there. Plants, plants, plants everywhere here inside of the greenhouse. Now, speaking of projects and production and greenhouses and all sorts of fun stuff, I think we're going to run up to production because the fellas are up there and have been for yesterday and today getting ready to pour concrete. So we're going to go up there and see how that looks because I have not seen it. So I am anxious to see all the framing and the leveling and exactly what they are doing up there. All right, my friends, so welcome to the fun construction zone. Man, the guys are up here working, having a lot of fun, got some Christmas music playing, and they're happy because they are underneath and they're not getting rained on, so that's a very good thing. What they have been doing yesterday, they're finishing up today, is they are installing the forms, getting the areas, I would say level, but they're not level because of course you want to have the water to shed. So they're getting the grade correct out here. So that's what they're doing. Let me just give you an overview. Jerry is talking with the guys. We are in here underneath the production annex. That is the new name. And you can see that the forms have been laid. This area is completely done and it is ready for the concrete tomorrow. If you have been following this journey, you know that on these posts, before we started, really the construction process, got the post in the ground, and then the guys came and did this mark right here. So if you see that mark with that pencil, that is where the concrete is going to go up to. You'll see that the 2x4s are right level with that. So that kind of gives you an idea of the amount of concrete that is going to go in here. I want to say it's 4 inches. Don't quote me on that, but I want to say that's about right. And then coming on over here, of course, each greenhouse will have a doorway leading into the annex. And you can see that they have framed that out here as well. So this area will remain gravel. That will be a quote natural area. We'll come in here and fill it up with gravel once the whole process is done, and then inside this little spot will be concrete. So it will be completely level coming out of the greenhouse and then into the annex. We also have in here Josh and the crew. They are emptying the greenhouse, getting all of these sweet perennials and shrubs out onto the shrub lot because we want to get all this clean out here. So they are working. I'm telling you, there are just jobs going on everywhere around here. This area is ready to go, like I said. Now, we have had questions in the past. If you have seen us do videos where we show you where the concrete is being poured, where we are North Carolina. We are in the Piedmont, which means nice red clay, solid soil here, mild temperatures, right, as far as like our winters go. Very mild winters in, thinking of like Maine, Michigan, the Dakotas, right? So when you're talking about those kinds of climates, we have very mild winters here. Because of the base and our weather and what we're using these areas for, we do not need to have wire or rebar in the concrete for support. I was just talking with the owner of the company and I asked him that question. Those were my thoughts, and so he confirmed that, because like right here in this annex, we have massive amounts of crush and run, really solid base of gravel. Areas in the other greenhouse I'm getting ready to show you, it is hard pan clay soil. This ground is not going to shift. So we have that going on. We're the heaviest things that are going to go on here may be a tractor, maybe a bobcat. We are not going to be building a high-rise building. This is not going to carry a massive load. This is basically a floating pad. They're going to have plants on it and people walking on it, so we're not going to have that massive heavy load that the concrete needs to support. And then you put in our weather. We don't have massive temperature changes of the freezing and thawing and that kind of thing. So we've had that question asked before about why we do not use rebar or wire, and that is the reason. Justin was saying that he watches a fella, has a YouTube channel, and he's up in Wisconsin, and it doesn't matter what that fella does as far as the project, if it's a patio or a driveway or something simple like this, he always uses wire and rebar because of their ground and their climate. Different areas call for different things. So here, we do not need it for these applications, so that's why we do not use it. Now, moving on down, I will show you, because this is, if you remember, back up just for a second, obviously production 2 has concrete. I just showed you that. The fellows were here earlier in the season and poured us a nice pad in the dry storage over here. The only one that does not have concrete is production 1. So that is what we are going to fix tomorrow. So they are in here working on that right now. We were able to save money because they were able to use the machinery. Jackson was actually helping them yesterday with our little bobcat, the skid steer, and then they have a machine. So they removed all of the gravel that is in or was in production 1 and pulled it out and was able to use it here in the annex. So that way saved us a lot of money on gravel, because they had to, of course, pull that gravel out of here because it was too high to put the concrete, because everything needs to be on the same playing field. So what they're going to do, you can see they've gotten standing on this side, they've got the left side already done, and they are working on the right side. So you can see that they have it framed out right here for the entrance on that side, but on this side it's not done yet, right? So they're going to work side by side. Now in here it's a little bit different, and you can see they have the framing. They're going to leave this framing in here because of the pipes. So the concrete will actually come up to the wood. So we'll have a little space, a little gap between the two boards, right? If we're able to eventually get these forms out, then that's fine, we will do that. But we just had to we couldn't pour the concrete straight up and completely encase the pipes and everything. So doing a little bit of modification. This is what happens when you kind of come back and retrofit it. But you can see that those boards go all the way down there. The fellas are down there making sure that the grade and the slope is all right. Jerry's down there with them. What they did have to do on both sides, they had to come through, because these posts are concreted into the ground. They had to come back and with a little mini jackhammer, lack of a better word, and get some of this concrete out right here, so that it was nice and level, and that the concrete can get in there. So that's what they were doing. You can see they've got the lines. Just a lot of prep work going in here. Had to remove, the doors up there. So it's all about prep work, and if you can get everything done, like you've done projects like this or any kind of project, getting the area prepped correctly first is a big thing, right? And then the concrete tomorrow should go relatively easy. The only, quote, problem is that our weather. So it's been raining. It's currently raining out there now. It's just sprinkling. We're supposed to get some big rain this afternoon. And of course, concrete trucks are heavy. So it is going to be a mess tomorrow. Hopefully everything will drain as far as the road and everything, and it won't be too muddy, that they can actually pour the concrete. Once they get up here, it'll be fine because they're under cover. But it's just the process of actually getting those heavy trucks to us. So we'll see. Well, of course, we'll take you along for that whole ride when they do pour the concrete. But yeah, it is a journey for sure. It's never a dull moment around here at Creekside. Lots and lots of projects going on. This is why we can do these massive projects when the retail center is closed, is because we can devote our full attention here and quote, not have to worry about customers, right? Because when we have customers here, we want to give them the attention that they deserve, that they rightly deserve. So it's nice that we can just really kind of put our focus on these big production projects and the things like that. So yeah, even though we are closed, we are certainly not off for the season. But these are the things that we love to do. It's lots of fun to get all these projects done, and it will make for more beautiful plants for our customers come the springtime. So with that, I'm going to leave you. Look at that. That is a fine meeting of the minds over there. They are all conferencing on different things. I love it. I love it. So, as always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.